Thank you so much for being on the programme. I'm keen to talk about your brief and about the PISA announcements today, but just first to talk about Rwanda, where the Home Secretary is. How personally comfortable are you with the thought of sending asylum seekers who may have legitimate claims to Rwanda?
I think it is important to treat everybody with respect. Rwanda is a safe country, and I think there could be good opportunities actually for people going to that country. It's right, of course, the British government looks at the judgment from the Supreme Court and addresses the issues that it found, and that's what's going on. That's what's happening with work the Home Secretary is doing and work others are doing with their counterparts in Kigali.
You're an ally of the former Prime Minister Theresa May. She said she's against it on the grounds of legality, practicality and efficacy. Is she right?
Look, I think it is an important programme. It's an important part, it's not the only part, but an important part of what we're doing to address illegal immigration and get the asylum seeking process working in a good way. There are these issues to be addressed that the Supreme Court addressed, and it's right to work on them. And then, of course, government will come forward with more in terms of legislation, the treaty, and so on in due course.
I mean, is it even going to work? Robert Jenrick told me, he says that yes, flights are going to take off before the next election. The Home Secretary said the only thing I can guarantee is the effort that we put in.
Well, I don't see there is no reason why it should not work. We've got a good, strong relationship.
It might get held up in the courts.
We've got a good, strong relationship with the government in Kigali. There's the accommodation there. We know there are economic opportunities actually in a growing country like Rwanda. There are also these things that have to be got over, and that's what government is working on with the government of Rwanda.
Are you a little bit annoyed that this is a big day for you? You've got the PISA results, you've got a good story to tell on education, and this is the day that the Home Secretary decides to fly out to Rwanda to talk about something that hasn't even happened yet, and we don't even know if it is going to happen. No one's actually gone to Rwanda.
No, not in the slightest. Government is a busy activity. There's always lots of things going on in any one day. But I am glad.
You don't want me to be talking about Rwanda, do you?
Sophie, I am glad you mentioned the PISA results, because that gives me a chance to say that this is a very positive story. Actually, a lot of congratulations are due to our teachers and to our pupils who, in difficult circumstances, have delivered a really strong set of results in these international comparisons. It is true that COVID has dealt a blow to everybody. Actually, almost every country in the world has had education set back somewhat because of COVID. But in that context, our setback has been somewhat less than the average, and we have improved our ranking relative to other countries. And as I say, that should be a source of cause for celebration and commendation of everyone working in our schools, and of course the children and the families who are doing it.
You say it's a cause for celebration. At the same time, though, the numbers have still gone down, right? As you acknowledge, in English, maths and science.
As they have in every country.
492 in 2022. Yeah. That's down from 504 in 2018. Reading, 496 in 2022, down from 505 in 2018. Science, 503 in 2022. That's down from 507 in 2022.
Yeah, it's
not something to be celebrated, right?
Well, COVID isn't something to be celebrated. Clearly, quite the reverse. In so many different ways for our society, many other societies, it's been terrible, and it's also been a knockback for education. We knew that already. What these results today tell us is about the relative performance of the education system, schools, teachers in England compared to other countries, actually compared to the other home nations as well, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, but also to countries right across the world. And we are able to say that the loss, and there has been loss, but the loss has been lesser in this country, in England, than it has been on average across those other places, and we have performed well.
We're going to be talking to Stephen Flynn, the SNP leader, leader in Westminster, I should say, a bit later on the programme. Scotland, as you say, hasn't performed as well as England. Do you think that politicians in Scotland should look at the curriculum in Scotland? Because some people would say that the reason that England has done quite well here is because of the focus on things like phonics.
Well, I do think, actually, that our focus on things like phonics and also maths mastery has made a huge difference. Top of the list, of course, and what makes a difference in education in schools is teachers, and that will continue to be the case.
So what about the Scottish curriculum?
But the things that go with them, and there are also great teachers, of course, in Scotland, and there are in Wales, and that's the point about system reform, curriculum, pedagogies, methods of teaching, what is tested and when. All of these things form a system that works with teachers. And we have reformed that system very significantly since 2010 with things like phonics, with things like maths mastery, with things like making sure we got a multiplication, times tables checks in primary school, with a more stretching GCSE. All of these things have been important. And yes, I would encourage, I want children throughout the United Kingdom to be doing just as well as they possibly can be. They are working hard, and it's right that the system should be supporting them and their teachers to absolutely do as well as they can.
So you would encourage what's into the sentence?
I would encourage my colleagues, it's not so much not only people in government, but including people in government in Scotland, in Wales. Of course, they should look at what has happened here in England and should see what they can take from that. But there are also other countries. We have there should be no pride in this or shame in this, if you like. We've looked at other countries across the world. We looked at East Asian countries, Singapore, the Shanghai province in China, how they were doing particularly well in mathematics. And we said, well, what is it that they are doing? And could we emulate that? Can we learn from that? And we've been